Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is chapter 5 of the ICT revision classes, and in this chapter we are going to discuss the effects of using IT or ICT equipments and devices, generally speaking. And this chapter is divided into 4 points: effects of IT on the employment or the jobs, and 5.2, the effect of IT on the working pattern within the organizations. 5.3, microprocessor control devices in home and the effect of using them in terms of advantages and disadvantages. And the last point is the potential health problem related to using these IT equipment. Now, in the first point, the effect of the employment because of the IT, because of the revolution in the technology and the use of computers and networks, we have advantages and disadvantages. Now, when we look at the employment, we have some, let's say, new jobs has been introduced to the market, and some jobs has been even cancelled or replaced by machines or by less number of laborers due to the technology revolution. If we look at the new jobs because of the networks, the internets and the communications and the ease of transferring of informations, such new jobs such as website designers, each now and every company, school or university must have a website. People now prefer to check informations on the internet rather than going physically to the locations. Website provide you with the advantage of checking the information at any time, yes, and even going into details without leaving your room or your device. So website designers are now very popular jobs with a good salaries, and delivery drivers as well. Because of websites, now some of the people now they are selling or advertising some products online, so people will request those products or buy them or shop online, and they need them to be delivered to their homes. Advantages: they don't waste time in going into shops and looking for them, so they actually have less time, and they just pay the money for the delivery drivers to deliver the products to their homes. Yes. Computer programmers, since we say that people are now doing websites and applications through the internet, now computer programmers are becoming very popular to program, or let's say to produce some kind of solutions for the company that suits the requirement for those staff inside the company. Network managers, since everyone now is connected through the internet, you need a manager, you need someone to know how to connect computers together, how to set up, how to make it easier for the user to log in and log out of the networks. So these are some of the new jobs that have been developed because of the ICT. Now, the areas where increased unemployment happens, such as in office work, nowadays you will use a computer to produce the letters, to do some kind of analysis in the spreadsheets. The font and let's say the handwriting is not important because you are using Microsoft Office applications, so less number of staff will be required now in offices to do such work. Since one computer is enough, one staff can do all the writing of the letters, the analysis in the spreadsheet, providing emails, sending emails or receiving emails. So because of the computer, because of these applications, it becomes simpler and easier for a couple of employees to do the job instead of employing tens of employees or a dozen of them. In manufacturing as well, since nowadays machines are, let's say, said to be more accurate, more faster, they work 24 hours, they have no breaks. Now in manufacturing, they actually let's say favor the robotics or machines instead of human, specifically in intensive tasks and tasks that need repetition all the time. So machines are replacing the human labors in some of the areas in manufacturing, and the advantage of that is that the job will be more consistent, more accurate, faster, and let's say with a less cost if you look at the long run of having the machine doing the job instead of human being. Yes. In retail as well, and we mentioned this, nowadays, instead of going physically to the market, you can shop online if you have some kind of websites, and you can even compare prices, look at sales in some of the specific shops, and then everything will be delivered at your home. So less and less number of real shops now will be opening, and in the future this will lead to closing down due to the lack of demands, and this is what we call a digital city. Next, effects on working patterns, because before the computer and before the technology, everybody has to go there and sit in the office and do everything from his desk or her desk. Yes. Now, because of the technology and the internet, you can actually remote working. You can work from anywhere, provided that you have an internet connection. You can actually work using the internet, or if you are inside the company itself, you can get the information from the intranet or the local network, where you can get all the resources you need, which makes your job easier, and the production at the end of the month will be even with a high percentage. Use a smartphone as well, tablets to do your job, becoming very popular on the go because of their portabilities. So now if we look at the general outcome of the staff that use ICT, you will find that they are more productive than the staff that they don't know how to use these kind of technologies. Advantages of working from far away for the employee and for the employer. For the employee, the advantages is that you can actually now work from home, so you have extra time, you can do some kind of arrangement, you can stay more time with your family, and you can work at convenient time and save the time and cost of traveling and wasting hours to reach your office. For the employer, the advantages as well is that you don't need to provide desk and offices for each and every staff. You might have some staff that work from their own homes and own desk, and they just deliver the resulted job at the end of the month or at the end of the week. So the employers will have less space and less expenses there, and it will be very productive and higher for them, because they know that at the deadline each and every staff will deliver what they promise that will deliver. Disadvantages of working from far away: for the employee, since you are working from home, you will have no interaction or social interaction with your staff. You don't know even your co-workers, since you don't go to the office that much. And at home you might get distracted very easily because of the family and the kids and other things that you can do, so you might not be very devoted to sitting there and doing the job. And you might be even overlooked for promotions, because you don't actually show your face in the office that much. So if you are promoting the good staff, you might be overlooked or forgotten. Disadvantage for the employee: if most of the staff are working from their home, the employee will find it very hard to check how the employee is actually doing the work, or how they are, let's say, progressing through a specific task. They should, and they only wait till the end of the deadline to receive the outcome from the employee. Next, effects on the working pattern within the organization. And in here we are going to discuss different working patterns. For example, the full time, which is the classic way of working. You work 5 days a week, you come 9 a.m. and you leave 4 or 5 a.m. So you stay the whole day inside the office, and this is, we call it a full time. Compressed hour, just like a full time. However, instead of working, let's say, for 8 hours a week, you might work for 9 hours a day. Yes. And then work less number of days. So you work more number of hours per day and less number of days per week. That's why we call it compressed hours. Part-time, instead of coming the whole day, you come at a specific time in specific days. So you don't get paid for the full month or the full week. You get paid only for the number of hours that you stay there inside the company or the institution. Yes. And part-time, sometimes we might call it flexi-time. If you have only a number of hours that you need to finish or to work inside the company, regardless of when you come and do those hours, you can come in the morning, you can come in the afternoon or at night. At the end of the week, they need you to spend a couple of hours, let's say 20 hours per week, regardless of when you actually spend them inside the company. Job sharing is whenever we have a job that can be shared between more than one person, so they share either the number of days or the number of hours per days between them. And this is very popular, and you will find it in security guards, where a couple of security will divide the whole day between them. Some will come at, during the day, some will come during the night and spend the night and then go home, and another staff will come from the morning again and continue the job. So at the end you have a couple of employees that will divide the weeks or the days hours between them. Now, effect of microprocessor control devices, or these intelligent devices at home, such as the ovens, washing machines, fridge, and these kind of devices that they can actually control themselves and they can operate by themselves without the need for any human interventions. We have advantages and disadvantages of having these devices at home. Advantages of these devices is that nowadays you can actually start cooking and washing automatically and go and do something else. So instead of doing it manually, you can start your cooking for food or washing machine and then go and do something else. So you have more time to spend with family, more time to spend doing something else. So it can actually encourage you to do a healthy lifestyle. Instead of just sitting there waiting for the food or waiting for the clothes to be washed, you can go and do something else productive. The disadvantage is that we are becoming over-reliant or becoming lazy, because we are now over-dependent on these machines to do our job for us. And instead of going and doing something productive in the free time, we go there and spend it either on TV or unhealthy eating. So we leave, we lost the skills, and we lost even the time itself in spending it in something that will benefit us at the long run. So this is what we call the advantage of having these machines and disadvantage of having these machines at home. The potential health that happens because of using these ICT equipment, such as the computers, generally speaking, is if you are typing or let's say using the mouse for a long, let's say hours, you might get what we call it repetitive strain injury. It can happen in fingers if you are typing for a long time, you get pain in the fingers, or in the wrist if you are using the mouse for a long time. How to prevent it or minimize the effect? You always have a wrist support and you always have some kind of breaks. Back problems happen from sitting in the same positions for the whole day, and you can minimize that by having some kind of special ergonomic chairs or sitting straight and having breaks as well. Headache and eye strain happens when you stare at the screen for a longer time, and you can minimize it by having some kind of anti-glare filter screens or a very good quality LCD screen instead of CRT screens, and by having breaks as well. Yes, so you can actually minimize the health problem that happens by always having breaks, by always follow let's say the professional instructions whenever you are using these kind of machines. This is the end of the chapter, so I would like to thank you very much.